Hey guys, so I'm looking over Bitcoin USD chart. I'm on the 3 day chart. All right, I want you to really pay attention to this pattern over here, dating back to when we were in the 2017-18 um, bear cycle, and then we had a rallying point in 2019 up here in June, and I want you to really look at how this shaped out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a Fibonacci level. I'm going to take it down to this bottom. Okay, and this is the bottom that we took it to. And you notice that we came back to the 61% level to get up to about 13,430. And then we come crashing back down, which we know it was the event that happened in 2020. I'm not going to say it, but y'all know what happened. And then we came back and basically retest this area for a demand area that came back into this particular zone. Now, what I'm looking at now is that this pattern that we see right here is similar to this pattern over here. All right, we know we get the push down, and then we get some recovery. All right, we get back to the 61%, and then of course we get back down here. The question is, could this happen again? And if so, where are we looking for price to come to? Now you can't see, it's the 61%. So we're talking about a 48,362 Bitcoin that could rally to get back up into this particular area. Now, while here, we could be looking for price could start to come back down. Now, if this happened, could we come back to fill these zones? It's a possibility, but I don't know. Now, here's the thing: if this is going to happen, it's going to happen fairly fast because we're going to be going to the halving that should be in April, right? So if this were to happen, okay, we could get the price could come back down to this area. Now that's talking about a 17, 16 something $1,000 Bitcoin. Can it happen? Of course, it's crypto. Anything can happen, right? Now, what would cause something like this? Remember, stock market is still overextended. There still could be massive correction in the market. There are a lot of companies laying off. It's just some other, macro events we may not know of that could happen within the next 6 months. Okay, now, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised we get up here. Okay, a lot of euphoria is going to come into the market, especially if we get up here. But once again, we could come back down. Now, what is the alternative? Let's say this doesn't even happen. So you gotta brace for that as well too. If you're long term, all this don't really matter. Now, what does matter is if we do get back down, you have something left in the tank to be able to load back up on. Okay. Um, let's do this. All right. So look, back in 2013, similar pattern. We get a push down. All right. You see this rallying point right here. We get a rallying point, and then we get this little strong dip back down. That's a possibility that could happen. All right. I'm just giving you different scenarios of what possibly could happen, right? Because we need a correction, guys. I mean, we just all know that Bitcoin just don't continue just going up. It's going to have corrections. All right, so this is about a 70% correction based off this move. Okay, so that's another possibility that can happen. All right, so let's look again. Same type of pattern is somewhat similar to what we're in right now. Remember, we had this nice little bottoming, and then we rallied up. Okay, we get up here now. Let's do a field retracement from there to here, and we're close. Look at that, 61%, 61%. Let's see what price that was. So it's about $482 $502 Bitcoin, all right, and then it come crashing back down. But it only came to this level. So let's see how much it crashed back down. Look, that's a 42% drop. You know, it's a 42% particular drop, right? Now, from here, we went on. We never came back down to these levels. All right, so that's pretty good. That's another scenario. So, what would it look like if we had a 40 something percent drop? So, we'll go over and we'll look at that in a few minutes, but hold on. All right. Here's another alternative. All right, see, we get up here, all right, and then we drop. Now, this is terrible, but I don't know if we're expecting this, but this type of move still could be in the works. All right, now, this is a worse drop, but you see, we get a rally, we get back up, we test, all right, and we drop. Okay, so once again, guys, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but you gotta be pay attention because it's the same type of chart patterns we have over here. Get up here to a rally point, and then we start to inch on down, and then we get to a level where we just continue to fight on up. Right? So you got to take the bearishness um, in there, okay, when you're thinking of these things. All right, so let's look at this. Let's do this. So we're gonna measure from this low point here, and we're gonna go all the way up to the all-time high. All right, so we did come down to the 78%. So we do know that the 88 still could be on the table as well too. Um, Once again, guys, I'm not saying it's gonna come here. You have to, yeah. Hey, if it do, hey, it's on the table, right? So 88 could be visited, which is that'll bring us down to 11,000 something. Once again, I think if something like this happens, something else had to happen on a macro event, such as there's a huge sell off in the stock market, something like that has triggered it. But if we don't get something like that, of course, I don't think we'll ever come down to these levels, at least in this cycle, right? All right. So yeah. So we do know that we're getting back into some key areas where price could start seeing some sell off. All right. We do know we still want to break these all time highs, close above, but we have to respect all these levels, all these nice little supply zones that are setting up nicely. Right? So these are key areas that price still could come into as we continue to push higher. If we add the Elliott wave on, which I have now, all right, so we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 particular moves setting up, and then but we have our ABC correction. So we do know that we got a 38% correction to be the 32,990. The 50% correction to be at the 31,449, and then that 61% correction will be at 29,908. So there still could be a correction point to come back to these particular levels. All right, before maybe pushing to get back up to this area. Okay, so keep that in mind um, as well. All right, but once again, remember we got macro events that has to be taken into account, and just not get too comfortable. Remember, if we long term, it doesn't matter. If we're loading on Bitcoin, altcoins, whatever your preference, and not to get caught up in some of the short term hype. Now, if you're trading, that's something else. But if you're actually investing, you really have nothing to really truly get excited about like that based off this particular rally, unless you're short sighted. But other than that, hit the like button, subscribe. It's your boy E White. I am out. You have a wonderful weekend. Bye.